Hey, this is Cycling Unboxed, and recently I've been testing the VeloSkin chamois cream. That's good. A little while ago I was given these two free VeloSkin samples to try their chamois cream, and I thought, that smells brilliant. And then I thought, is it actually better than the chamois cream that I've been using? So I've got this ASOS tub right here, chamois cream, and it's got kind of like a menthol flavour. It's been tried and trusted, and it works really well for long rides. That menthol actually helps keep your balls feeling cool, which is quite a nice feeling on a really hot day. When I first started using this, the first thing I actually noticed was the smell. It smells really good. It smells like you're putting on like aftershave on your butt, and I really love it. It smells quite 5-star, so I really enjoyed that. Other things I also noticed that it was thick, creamy, smooth, buttery. So is this one good? Stick around to the end of the video to find out if it will suit you too. Right, as I just mentioned, it smells great. Like I said, it feels like I'm putting on like an aftershave. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's got kind of like a zesty smell to it as well, and I really like that zesty smell, and I think most other people do. And surprisingly, it still smells like that at the end of the ride. When you take your shorts off, you almost get like a nice whiff of that zesty smell, and it's quite a nice treat, surprisingly. So what is a chamois cream supposed to do, and does it do these things? The first one's pretty simple. It's to reduce friction between your skin and the chamois. I think this one performs really well here. I've been out on a few 4-hour plus rides with it, and to be honest, like I said, you can still smell it at the end of it. It's still, I haven't really felt any more friction towards the end of it, especially around those more sensitive areas, so I think it's actually performed really well as a chamois. I would say as well comparatively to this ASOS stuff, so they both seem to perform quite well for me. The second thing a chamois is supposed to do is that it's supposed to be antibacterial. So a lot of the sores that I created are basically caused by the combination of that warm, moist environment and also a lot of friction around the area, which kind of heats it up even more. And the antibacterialness actually helps a lot to prevent those sores from being created and getting an infection. I do think the chamois does perform well in this area just because I've been using it for the past few weeks. I haven't developed any sores. I can't say I've got any scientific data to back this up. It's probably quite a hard thing to test, but I've had a good experience with this and I haven't developed any sores. So I think the antibacterial properties probably work quite well with this one. The third thing to note about the chamois is actually like its thickness and creaminess, so it actually makes it really easy to apply to the areas that you need to, in kind of like the densities and the thicknesses and the layers that you need it, in the more sensitive areas or the areas that you find that there's more friction. So I think the viscosity helps with the application of this chamois. It doesn't have the menthol cooling effects like the ASOS stuff does, but that's only really useful on a really hot day. For 90% of the days here in the UK, you're going to get along with this just fine. It's not going to be too hot or too sweaty, so I think that's not really a comparison. The fifth and final thing that I like about this is actually the wrappaging, so all the stuff that it comes in, and basically it's just a little cardboard box, nice and recyclable. And the second thing that's pretty good is that it comes in tin. It's an aluminium can, so that can also be recycled as well, which I like. The third great thing about the recycling is that it's kind of made here in the UK, so actual mileage, it doesn't cover much mileage to get to you, which is another great factor for the environment. With all their environmental goodness, they should also make these refillable, I think. The only thing that actually bothers me about the aluminium tin is that actually it's easy to get off, but sometimes to get it on, it can be a pain in the arse and doesn't quite go on properly. So I don't know if it's just precise manufacturing or if it's just the shape of it, but sometimes you're there fiddling to try and get the lid back on. Apart from that, this is a great chamois cream. The final thing that I really love about this chamois is actually the smell. It smells great. Like I said, it smells like you're putting on a really nice expensive aftershave, and every time you get to the end of the ride, it still smells great at the end of it, which is surprising. I think it really holds for 4, 5, 6 hours, which is a really nice feature. In all honesty, after use, I don't think that one chamois is better than the other out of these two. I'll probably use this one more on hot days for that cooling effect, and this probably for the rest of it, just because it smells so great. But other than that, I don't think you can compare the two that much. They both work really well. One thing I would like is probably a slightly bigger pot, like so maybe you could just buy more in one pot, or potentially like a refill option, which would be even better for the environment. I'm not sure how they would do that. Maybe you would just rock up to certain stores and you could fill it up, but that's a feature I would like to see in the future. Well, this has been a Cycling Boxed quick review of the VeloSkin chamois cream. If you want to see more videos on chamois cream or from my site, look here, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video.